Welcome to Concrete Design Systems, where we provide instructional video on how to apply specialty coatings over existing concrete, with a special emphasis on providing you with helpful tricks and tips specially designed for the do-it-yourselfer. Today we're going to cover how to resurface, renew, and restore damaged concrete with a simple gray overlay and resurfacing product. We will demonstrate for you the different methodologies and application of a synthetic and or plastic polymer modified cement over existing concrete that's salvageable. Keep in mind that the concrete that you may have in mind, it needs to be a qualifier and a candidate to resurface. Otherwise, resurfacing concrete that's not structurally sound simply is just not it's not economically sound, and it's not going to last long term. So in this video we will show you all of our tricks and tips, methodologies, and the tools, materials, and supplies that will be required to resurface a driveway that is chipping and flaking and spalling and exposing the aggregate underneath and covering cracks that have occurred over the course of time on old worn-out concrete. Let us begin. Our example in this instructional video here is a 500 square foot approach and driveway that is about 5 years old. As we pan over the surface, you can see all of the chipping and flaking and spalling in the concrete language is what it's called, where it comes off in little circles and exposes the aggregate underneath the cream finish of the concrete. This is very common in any freeze-thaw cycle around the world, and just a myriad of different things that can cause this, from the freeze-thaw cycle itself, weakness in the surface when it was laid, salts, and de-icers. We're going to demonstrate how we can make this look brand new again. This is a snapshot of the tools, materials, and supplies that you'll be using on resurfacing your concrete, along with the PolymerX Plus additive and the formulation of how to mix the resurfacer. First thing we're going to do is prepare the surface. We're going to use a cold pressure washer system, and this system is designed to be able to strip off anything that's going to be relatively close to the surface so that you can get it down to the aggregate. We'll go through the process of preparing all of the materials now for mixing the resurfacing product. This first batch of resurfacer is going to be for patching and filling in all of those areas that are exposed after we pressure cleaned the driveway and has all of the exposed aggregate. We want to fill that first with a layer of this product. We'll demonstrate briefly here how each of the material items will go into the polymer additive and water mixture separately, and you mix them so that you have a consistency that's nice and smooth for each one of those material items. Sand is the last item that goes in, and the same thing is true with that. You'll mix that thoroughly so that you get a nice smooth consistency that's homogeneous, and add water to the material as needed. These will be the tools that you'll be using on resurfacing your driveway or walkway or patio, whatever it may be. The process is first to get your surface area damp, not too wet so that it's flooding, and then the placement of the product itself. We're using a 14-inch pool trowel here so that you can see how this is demonstrated. You want to clean out control joints and reshape those so that it's a lot easier to be able to see those when it comes time to grinding this surface off when it dries. So keep in mind that we're going to apply this in a pattern. We call it a horseshoe pattern. It's basically the shape of half of a moon, from left to right, right to left, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed. You can use one hand, or if you're ambidextrous, you can use both hands in applying the product. You're going to fill in each of these voids that you can see that have been exposed one by one. It's not necessary to go over the entire surface if it's in good shape. We're just demonstrating here how you fill in all of the voids and the damaged areas, and you can see that as you look down the driveway where we've done the patching there, it's just random, addressing each of the areas that we have prepared with the pressure washer that revealed all of the spalled and damaged part of the driveway. Concrete Design Systems offers a concrete resurfacing training course for you if it is that this instructional video doesn't give you enough detail. You can look at the description down below and you can click on the link that will take you to the Concrete Design Systems website, and there you can look at the concrete resurfacing training program in more detail. We're going to let this dry overnight now, and when we come back to it, we're going to grind all of the high areas off with the grinding tool. And you can see how this is being done here ever so methodically in a circular motion. And you always keep the grinder in motion so that you don't end up with real deep gouges and grinder marks in the patch areas that you have resurfaced the driveway with. Once that surface has been all ground off where you've placed the patching material, we go over the control joints and clean those out, round them off nice and neat and clean again so that you have a good clean finish when you come back to the driveway. And we use a crack chaser to clean out your expansion joints to make sure that that is all nice and cleaned out as well. If your surface is super weak, then a surface planer is always a good option to prepare the surface. Now we go through the process of the cleanup after the grinding is completed. We'll go through this systematically to sweep up the heavy debris and get it off of the surface area, and then we'll blow off all of the residue that has been left behind. And then last but not least, after that is completed, then we're going to rinse the surface off to make sure that it's really super clean from all of the debris and particles that have been left behind from the grinding. After that is completed, you can immediately begin to mix up your resurfacing product that's going to be the final finish coat, because by the time you do that in a 70-degree plus temperature conditions, the surface will be dry enough for you to apply the refinishing product. We go through this systematically again, same as it was with the patching product. I think it's noteworthy to point out here that we always want to keep our tools clean. Because of the PolymerX product, it bonds so tight to the tools that if you don't do it frequently, it ends up just building up on your tools and makes it more difficult for you to apply the resurfacing product. The same procedure is used with putting the finished product down as it was when we were demonstrating putting the patching material down. We're still using a 14-inch trowel in this demonstration. Here we show a quick demonstration of how much more mileage you can get when you're using a 24-inch pool trowel. Here is just a reminder to continue to do that horseshoe pattern. It makes life just so much easier as you go from start to finish and front to back. Here we demonstrate if you want to put a broom finish in it. It is certainly possible while the product is still just a little bit damp. Not quite completely dry, but just enough to get the broom finish look to it. That gives it some uniformity. They turn out pretty nice and look authentic, as typical of flat work when it is done when it's brand new with a broom finish. This is a 36-inch horsehair broom. It's lightweight, and you just need to have the poles to be able to extend yourself out over the driveway. I hope that this tutorial and instructional video on how to resurface damaged concrete has provided you with some real helpful tricks and tips and methodologies on how to apply these principles and precepts to a project that you have in mind. Thank you so much for joining me here at Concrete Design Systems. Wishing you the very best on your next do-it-yourself project. We'll look forward to seeing you again in another Concrete Design Systems tutorial.